Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, red dragons of all ages, welcome back to Finger on the Pulse. I'm your host, Nate Fingerman, and I'm joined today by Sofia Dzierzek, Chair of Campus Operations for the Student Association. Now, Sofia, that is a big title. What is Student Association all about?
So, Student Association is basically the campus student government. It kind of is the body that delegates where all of your student activity fees go. We fund all the clubs and kind of decide how much money they get amongst a committee of other students. We fund the buses in town with the student activity fee. We're kind of just the body of middlemen between students and faculty and administration.
Sounds like you do a lot of important work. I had no idea I was being charged activity fees, but I am fine with them going towards the buses. I think that's money well spent for sure. How was the Student Association organized?
So I think there's something 25 senators about. So basically in September, January, and then I believe at the end of the spring, a form is sent out to students being hey, you should sign up for Senate. And if you want to, you type in your name, you type in a little bio, and then you just have to get 25 people to vote for you, and then you become a senator, which is great.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that easy. I thought you'd have to get more votes than somebody else.
I don't think so. At least as long as I've been in it, which is a little over a year now, there's never been a time where we have an overflow. The only time you have to win with a certain amount of votes is for chair elections or e-board. So with the chair elections, we're still technically senators, just with a little bit extra, I guess is the right way to put it. And there's 5 of us, and that is an election we do on the very last Senate meeting of the year, first one of the fiscal year, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And that's within Senate. And then e-board elections happen usually right after spring break, and that's a campus-wide election.
Well, that is certainly a lot of good things to know, and I do intend to vote next time. Where is your position compared to others involved in Student Association?
Mine, so like I said, it's kind of, I'm kind of like a senator, just with a little bit extra is the way I like to think of it. But we're part of the legislative branch, which is pretty cool because it's kind of set up like a real government. How we have a chief justice and associate justices and stuff, and that's pretty cool. So I guess kind of the middle. If that makes
Very
sense.
nice. Why is Student Association and student government in general so important in the year 2025?
I think it gives everybody really good leadership experience. I've been super nervous about everything my whole life. And I joined Student Association with one of my best friends. And we were this will be really funny if we do this. Let's just go and do it. And I'm so much more comfortable speaking in front of large groups now and being confident in what I'm saying. So I think for that reason it's just really important. And it teaches you how to effectively communicate with people that are I don't want to say above you, but I get actually kind of above you. For me, I have meetings with the chief of UPD and lieutenants and the Office of Sustainability, Sodexo, people who have more authority than I do, and I have to still carry myself in a way where I'm confident. And I think before Student Association, I never would have been able to do that. So I think it just gives you a little bit of character in that way.
As it should. I never got involved in student government when I was younger because I fell for the children's media propaganda where if you become school president, you get to make the whole day recess and make them serve only dessert at lunch. And I was this is not my style. I'm going to do my own thing.
I never did it earlier either.
What have you learned from your position so far?
I guess I've become a lot more in tune with what administration is doing. Actually talking to somebody I talk to a lot is Rebecca Malloy, the general manager of Sodexo, who before this I never really paid attention to. Yeah, I don't know. I feel I kind of said everything already.
All right.
But yeah.
How do you plan on using these skills that you've developed from Student Association in your future career or later on in life?
Me personally, I'm looking to be a social worker, which is very I'm going to be in a lot of really awkward situations, so I kind of have to learn how to keep my composure, which is something I've never been good at, to be completely honest with you, until now. But yeah, still being able to, yeah, I guess like talk to people that I wouldn't be usually used to talking to.
So student association is also in charge of the clubs on campus, right? Who decides which clubs get approved, or what can you tell us about that process?
So the way it works is you have to apply to be a university recognized organization first, which don't quote me on this because I'm not 110% sure, but I'm pretty sure all you need is like 10 members and you have to like share 5 of their contact informations. And then after that, you have to have, I think, 4 meetings or events and have, I think, like 10 members total. And then you have to reach out to the VP of Central Affairs, which right now is Kadeem Russell. Shout out, he's a great guy. And then you have to like fill out this packet, which we just did for Step Howard. Shout out again. But you have to get 50 signatures from just like the general student body. It doesn't matter if they're like members or not of your club. And then I believe 15 members of your club. And then you write up a constitution. Kadeem's committee, made up of other senators, looks over your constitution, make sure it fits with like everything you have to have, which is listed under our campus connection. And then your club comes to a Senate meeting, which is every Tuesday at 6:30 in the waterfront.
That's good to know.
Yep, open to everybody.
If you're feeling civically inclined.
Come talk to us about anything, it's great. But then like most people will like make a presentation and be like, this is who we are, this is what we've done, this is the money we've spent, if any, because most clubs come to student association kind of to have that backing and like financial support, which is totally understandable. Most clubs come in the fall because then you have a probationary semester in the spring, and then that way we can give you a budget for the following year, because you could do your probationary period in the fall, but then you wouldn't have a budget for that following year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. What are some of the things that Student Association does to foster a healthy campus environment?
I think it's really good at promoting leadership and working with people. There's a lot of people that I've met through Student Association that I don't think I ever would have normally in like, just like obviously different like grades and like class years.
Yeah.
But also just like different walks of life and majors. You get to like really see the ins and outs of everything. And I think that makes you like a lot more accepting and understanding that way.
Of course, you know, it takes all kinds to make the world go round.
Very true.
When you became a senator or became more involved in student association, what was something that ended up being like you expected, or something that you didn't expect to be that way?
I guess kind of the way that administration, I didn't know, so every week we have a spotlight speaker, which is usually some sort of administration that gives us a presentation about something specific. I believe it was 2 weeks ago, we had the Go Zone, which is not administration, but Springbrook has like a program on campus.
What's Springbrook?
It's like mostly I believe a day hab program in town for people with like intellectual and physical disabilities, but they have a program on campus now, which is great.
Thank goodness.
Go intern at it. It's great. But like, that was a good way to like get that out. But I just didn't know that they did stuff like that. And I think it really helps to like break that wall between students and faculty. Absolutely.
What are some of the challenges that come from being an intermediary between the students and the administration?
Not necessarily that you have to play both sides, but there's certain things that you might want as a student that you know can't happen or you know take time. And I mean, nobody wants to hear that things take time.
Yeah.
But me personally, as campus operations, I deal with like sustainability, UP, dining, facilities, and I did an event earlier in the semester where I have this form with QR code on it, and it leads to a form that only I see with like any campus complaint.
Yeah.
And like, I'll just figure out where it goes and see if I can do anything about it. And like, it just takes time on stuff that like I would love to see done tomorrow.
Yeah.
But everything takes time and money, and it's just,
If it takes time, then it's definitely worth doing. If you're handed something right away, then you might not like where it comes from. So I get that.
Yeah.
For those who are hearing about these for the first time and they want to be more involved in the student association, what would you tell them?
I would tell people, like, if it's not election time, so if it's not like one of those 3 times you could be a senator, that you should definitely come sit in on a meeting, because it's nice to know what you're walking into.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Sophia, for coming on today, and thank you so much for watching. You can follow us on Instagram at WireTV Oneonta. Find more of our videos at youtube.com/WireTV. And you can, of course, plug the Student Association social media really quick.
Yeah, the Instagram is Oneonta SA, and we have our meetings every Tuesday in the Waterford Women Hunt Union at 6:30.
Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'm Nate Fingerman with Finger on the Pulse.